No, I have fucking facial hair. I just shaved today, I'm good. Hey, what's up you guys? This is Shadow Walker Cosplay and another video this week. And today we're gonna be doing a little bit of a how to make a mannequin, really cheap materials and everything.
And I'm gonna help. Mostly, I'm gonna be taping Brandon up and covering him in garbage bags. So basically, an uncle's fantasy.
Yikes. So today we're gonna make a cheap mannequin. We're gonna use a trash bag and duct tape to make a mannequin off me, so that later on when we're making my project, which is going to be Darth Malgus from the Old Republic. And yeah, so let's get into that.
Alright, so right off the bat, we put a plastic bag over Brandon, but first we had to cut a hole for his neck and for the arm so he could wear it like a t-shirt.
And yeah, and then we kind of just taped him up with this X formation so that could get like down in the crevices on his body and and stuff. Is that pretty much what?
Yeah, all the crevices in my body, sure. Let's say it like that.
Sure. See, the body does pull in a little bit, both around the chest and the back, so you do want to do that X formation when you're taping him off. Because then it'll just fill it in, suck it in tighter, and make for a better mannequin.
Yeah, for sure. And then when you get a little bit of the chest, then you turn them around and kind of repeat the process, but first you have to cinch the back so that it's kind of dancing and such.
Well,
so
it felt like a turtle shell, so I had to...
for sure. But yeah, so you have to like cinch it and everything so it's like tied around the body and everything, so.
And then once the main part of the tape job has been done, then we put some more plastic up around his neck to tape off around there too. But you want to do that as your last step because it can be very uncomfortable around the neck, and so you want to have that plastic up there for as short amount of time as possible before we're able to cut it off.
Right, and then I accidentally didn't make it long enough to go all the way around his neck, but I mean that's fine. You can just get another piece of a trash can or get another piece of a trash bag and kind of just wrap it around the back half and everything. And always make sure that your person that you are making the form off of doesn't have to use the restroom, has already eaten, and is just like in a happy state, you know, because it can get really old really fast, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, was it kind of like that for you? Or?
Yeah, for me it was kind of just like getting a haircut, you know, you just kind of had to sit there.
Right, for sure. And then, yeah, afterwards, what you do is just make a line down the back where you're going to cut. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight. Just get it kind of in the middle, and then make hash marks so you can piece it together relatively easy and so that it's even and not crooked, you know? And then when you're cutting up the back, make sure that you're putting a hand between your person and the scissors so that it doesn't accidentally cut them or cut the shirt that they're wearing, unless you use a shirt instead of a trash bag, you know, then it doesn't matter. But yeah, so there it is.
And we just peel them right out.
And there's Brandon.
And do it in like a relatively cool environment because it can get really hot. I mean, you're being covered in a layer of plastic and rubber.
Right, for sure.
And then just trim up all the loose trash bag that's hanging down off the bottom with some scissors. Make sure your scissors are sharp as possible. Otherwise, you're just gonna pull and tear at the plastic.
For sure. For sure. And always make sure that your scissors and blades and everything are sharp so that it doesn't just rip and tear at whatever you're trying to cut, you know. So it just makes it an easier job in the end.
Mm-hmm.
Makes your model and everything a little bit cleaner also.
Yeah. Then once everything gets finished cleaning up there around the edges, the next step is we're going to be putting him back together and lining up those hash marks that we made earlier. Brandon's holding it together as I'm taping it off, putting that torso back together, and then once we finish that line, then we put some more strips across it to enhance the strength around that cut.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Then we made a cap for the neck out of foam, just tracing around the neck hole, and taped off the armholes.
Which means now it is time for Brandon. Oh, never mind. Now it's time to make the stand. And the stand I made out of PVC pipe and fittings. Now, unfortunately, I didn't have the fittings that I wanted in order to make it perfect. So that's where duct tape comes in. Duct tape is a handyman secret weapon. And I was able to make sure it was nice and sturdy both at the base as well as up at the top where we're having this nice cross section that'll go into the shoulders of the mannequin. After run that tape around several times, made sure it was nice and strong and would hold the mannequin effectively.
Fill it with poly-fil. Just stuffing myself.
Oh, yes, Daddy!
And when you're doing this, you want to make sure that the rod from the stand stays relatively in the middle of the mannequin. And then take these foam strips, you know, the puzzle piece ends that you don't use for anything, and just kind of roll them up into the bottom so it gives it a little bit more strength to keep the form.
Because what else are you going to use that, the end cap things for anyway? So, I mean, it's perfect.
And then once they're in there, then you just go ahead and use some more duct tape and just tape them from the inside to the outside, make it nice and sturdy and held in place. Then finish off the stuffing job. Make sure Brandon is nice and stuffed to the brim. Now once all that stuffing is in there, it's time to seal off the bottom. Because Brandon did such a good job of stuffing himself, we don't want to let any of it seep out.
All right.
Now it doesn't really matter what kind of technique you use when taping up the bottom, because all that really matters is that everything is sealed off. There's duct tape going across it completely. It's the bottom of the mannequin, and then there's going to be shirt going over the top of it, so it's not necessary for it to be very pretty.
Right, because, yeah, it doesn't have to be pretty to cover it up.
And while I'm working away, this is what Brandon's doing.
You little shit. But yeah, no, that totally reminds me of this Vine, though. I can't remember the life of me what it was. Something like that.
No, it's a nice comparison. That's kind of like who wore it better.
Yeah, exactly.
Who did the creepy over the shoulder better? Then there it is, nice and finished off, which means it's time to stand it up and put the shirt on it.
For sure. Yeah. And now when you put the shirt on, just like you would put the shirt on yourself or anyone else who has a head.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully, anyway. You know, minus those people that are in my basement.
And then you just gotta hug yourself because you're the only one who will.
Exactly. And then afterwards, you gotta, I'm falling over, pin up the back, kind of like what you did with the trash bag. You just kind of have to cinch it in the back and pin it up, and then with the sleeves, pin it where you want to sew it, cut off the extra material, and then kind of just go in this like spiral braided look. This was the easiest thing that I found out that you could do. I'm not the best sewer, so I mean, yeah, so, and it works just fine. And then, like I said, just kind of cut off the extra material on the bottom and kind of just figure out what's going to work best. I found that it was going to work best to kind of go into like a T shape, like shown right here, and it held up actually pretty nice.
Yeah, and it's the bottom, so it doesn't have to look pretty.
Exactly. So, and there is the final product. And yeah, I hope it was as easy as it was for us to make.
Alright guys, thanks for watching. If you're hoping to make more of your own custom fit built armor, hopefully this has really helped you out, because it's certainly going to help us out as we move forward into making all the armor for Brandon's Darth Malgus outfit. As always, we are Shadow Walker Cosplay, and we will see you next time.